Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. I tell you, folks, I've been watching General Hospital for more years than I care to count, and just when you think the show can't get any wilder, they drop something like this Valentine story that has me glued to the screen every single day. Let me tell you, seeing Valentin Cassadine digging into this mess with Jack Brennan's paralysis really got me excited. That man has made plenty of mistakes in his life, but right now it looks like he's trying to do the right thing for once. He figured out what was really going on with that syringe that was supposed to hit him but ended up in Jack instead. Poor Jack just froze up and collapsed right there on the floor, and the first thing out of Valentin's mouth was, "What the heck was in that thing?" Smart fella. He remembered every detail from that awful moment, and now he's using it to chase down the truth. What really got me is how this whole thing is costing people around him. Nina and Willow have paid a heavy price because Valentin decided to speak up and expose what he found. Those two ladies are in a tough spot, and the scariest part is they're too scared to point the finger at Sidwell, the one who actually supplied the drug. I keep shaking my head thinking about it. Why stay quiet when the truth could fix so much? Maybe they're protecting someone, or maybe they're just plain scared. Either way, it's a big tangled mess. And you know what's even stranger? Valentine isn't the only one noticing something fishy at the hospital. Elizabeth Baldwin has been watching everything with those sharp eyes of hers. She told Lucas Jones how odd it is that two strong, healthy men with no heart problems suddenly had strokes in the same house just a few months apart. Elizabeth's words stuck with me. She said it plain and simple, like any worried nurse would. It makes you wonder what in the world is really going on in Port Charles these days. I've got to admit, part of me wonders if Valentin is doing all this to finally clean up his name and make things right. Is he willing to pay a big price for it? It sure looks that way. One minute he's the guy we love to hate, and the next he's chasing down answers that could change everything for Jack and maybe even for himself. Boy, if that ain't classic General Hospital, I don't know what is. I'm sitting here with my coffee every afternoon wondering if this is going to be the thing that finally redeems Valentin or if it's going to blow up in his face like so many things have before. Man, I can't wait to see what happens next. I tell you, what happened right after Jack hit the floor stuck with me more than most things on this show lately. Valentin didn't panic like a lot of folks would. He dropped right down beside Jack, placed his hand firmly on the man's chest, and started feeling around real careful, checking for any kind of reaction. His fingers pressed steady, searching for a heartbeat, and sure enough, he found one strong and regular. Jack was still breathing too, thank goodness. That small discovery seemed to calm the room just a little, but it also lit a fire under Valentin. You could see it in his eyes. He wasn't about to let this go. He stood up slow, picked up the gun that had fallen nearby, and looked Nina dead in the face. He told her plain and simple to keep him posted if anything happened to him, like he knew he was walking into something dangerous. Then, without another word, he turned and left. Straight away, he headed over to Carly Spencer's place. I reckon he needed someone level-headed like Carly to hear the whole wild story and maybe help him make sense of it. Carly's been through enough herself over the years, so she's probably the perfect person to listen without falling apart. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense why Valentin jumped on this so fast. He's a Cassadine through and through. That family's always been mixed up in dark dealings. He worked side by side with that dangerous fella Caesar Faison back in the day, and later he even ran the whole Pikeman security group while Jack was sitting in prison. That kind of life teaches a man a lot about weapons, drugs, and the sneaky ways people use them to hurt each other. So when Valentin stared at that syringe, he didn't see medicine. He saw a weapon. In his mind, that clear liquid was some kind of paralyzing agent, the kind designed to shut a person down fast and hard. What really got both him and Elizabeth Baldwin fired up is how suspicious those so-called strokes look now. Two strong, healthy men, Drew and Jack, with no history of heart trouble, suddenly dropping from what everyone called a stroke, and both in the same house just months apart. Elizabeth told Lucas it didn't sit right with her at all, and Valentin feels the exact same way. He's convinced somebody did this on purpose. The only piece he still isn't sure about is whether that syringe was truly meant for Drew, or if it had been aimed at him from the very beginning. That question must keep him up at night. But here's the thing about Valentin. He's not the type to sit around guessing. He decided to find out for himself. See, when Drew bought that big house, the one that was supposed to belong to Valentin, little Charlotte, and Anna Drew got sloppy and never changed the locks, Valentin still had his key the whole time. So he waited for the right moment, slipped inside quiet as a mouse, and took one of those syringes without anyone noticing. Then he called up an old contact from his pikeman days, somebody who knows all about this underground stuff. It didn't take long for the results to come back. Just like Valentin suspected, it wasn't any kind of regular medicine. It was a powerful, paralyzing drug, the kind that can make a man's body lock up and stop working right. No wonder Jack went down like that. Finding out the truth like this must have hit Valentin hard, but it also seems to have made him more determined than ever. I sit here in my chair every afternoon, sipping my coffee, thinking about how one man is risking everything, his safety, his relationships, maybe even his freedom, just to uncover what's really happening in Port Charles. It's the kind of story that reminds you life isn't simple, even on a soap opera. People make mistakes, they carry heavy secrets, and sometimes they try real hard to make things right. I don't know if Valentin will come out of this a hero or if it'll all blow up in his face, but I sure am rooting for him to find justice. The whole thing has me hooked, wondering what he'll do next and how many more lives are going to get turned upside down before the truth finally steps into the light. Man, General Hospital sure knows how to keep an old fella like me coming back for more. I tell you, the more Valentin looked into that syringe, the darker and more mysterious the whole situation got. That drug inside was the kind you can't trace back to any company, any lab, or any regular supplier. It was like it came out of thin air, cooked up in secret for one purpose only. What really made Valentin stop and think hard was the way it was designed. This stuff wasn't meant to be injected into the muscle like a regular shot. No, sir, it was made specially to go straight into the vein, fast and direct. That little detail told him right away this was no ordinary medicine. It wasn't something you'd find in the hospital pharmacy at General Hospital either. He knew that for sure. So Valentin kept every single record, every note, and that tiny vial he saved from the sample he had tested. He wanted to watch Jack's progress day by day, see if the man's body could fight the drug out of his system, and if he'd wake up and start moving again like his old self. He didn't try to carry this heavy secret all by himself. Valentin went straight to Carly Spencer's place and told her the entire story from beginning to end. He didn't leave anything out, not the way Jack collapsed, not the strange paralyzing effect, not his suspicions about the so-called strokes. Carly sat there listening with those sharp eyes of hers, taking it all in. She's been through plenty of storms herself, so she understood how serious this was. Together, they came up with a solid plan. As soon as Jack starts getting better and can think straight again, they're going to sit him down, lay out everything Valentin discovered, and hand him that little vial as real, hard proof. No guessing, no rumors, just cold evidence. When you stop and think about it, this one small syringe carries a whole lot of weight. It proves that someone deliberately went after both a sitting U.S. senator, no matter how shady or unlikable he might be, and a trained WSB agent. Two strong, important men taken down in the same sneaky way, right there in the same house. That's no accident and it's no coincidence. Valentin's starting to see the bigger picture now. Maybe, just maybe, this terrible thing could be the bridge that lets him and Jack finally put their old personal feud behind them. Two men who've spent years glaring at each other might actually end up working together to find the truth and bring the real culprit into the light. Wouldn't that be something worth watching? After all the fights, the betrayals, and the bad blood, a little teamwork could change everything in Port Charles. So if you love General Hospital as much as I do, you'd better stay close and keep watching every single episode right now. Things are moving fast, secrets are coming out, and the tension is thicker than ever. Don't miss a single day because you never know when the next big twist is going to drop. Come on back here often because I'll be right here sharing all the fresh updates, the shocking reveals, and everything new happening with our favorite people in Port Charles. There's always something cooking on this show, and right now it feels like we're heading towards something really special. Man, I can't wait to see how it all turns out. Grab your sweet tea, settle in, and let's enjoy the ride together.